first episode of Season 2 of Apple's TV show Severance has finally arrived. I love Season 1. I haven't talked about it on my channel before, but I think it is one of the best seasons of television I have ever seen in my entire life. I thought it was absolutely incredible. While I was shooting Shelby Oaks, a lot of people were talking about it on set, and I just couldn't get into watching it. I didn't have the time. I was so focused. I was so busy. The only thing I think I watched that was new during that entire shoot was Top Gun Maverick. And I eventually binged it, and I was absolutely blown away. The plot of Severance is very unique and original, and what's even cooler about it is that the writer has no other credits. This was like his first thing, and it took him a very long time to get it noticed. And that writer is Dan Erickson, and the show is about a guy named Mark, played by Adam Scott, who leads a team of office workers whose memories have been surgically divided between their work and personal lives. But I also want to give a big thank you to the sponsor, Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus. Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus is an exciting turn-based tactical strategy game set in the eternal conflict of Warhammer 40,000 universe. In Tacticus, you bring some of the universe's most powerful warriors to lightning-fast tactical skirmishes where you are in full control and only superior tactics can deliver victory. Expand your collection across multiple factions to find new tactical possibilities as you bring your troops to battle and sweep the galaxy clear of all resistance. You can assemble and lead 80+ legendary Warhammer 40,000 champions from 18 playable factions. As strange as it might sound, games like this are actually how I like to decompress, despite how fast-paced and fun it is. And you can really just dive in and enjoy it. It doesn't feel overly complicated. There's not some huge learning curve. It's just a blast to pick up and play this game. And right now, if you use the code HELLOJAN, you can get 2,000 gold and 50 Blackstone. That's available until February 1st. Check out that link in the description below. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. For those who haven't seen Season 1, this is going to contain some spoilers. Just in case you haven't seen the show, I really want to warn you before I continue. You really have to see it. I genuinely really do mean it when I say that it is my favorite show currently on television. But this idea of being severed between work and home is brilliant because it really is kind of a moral question. Would you choose to do that to yourself? Could you live an entirely different life at work, having no idea who you are at home? And the same for at home. Would you be willing to have no idea what you're doing at work? And when you're at work, would you be willing to have no idea if you have a family, if you're married, if you have kids? The writing for this show is so top tier, and it is met by brilliant direction. I really want to talk about Ben Stiller, because Ben Stiller is a filmmaker and an actor that I've loved ever since I was a kid. But I didn't realize until I was older just how much he is actually behind the camera and has always been a creative force behind the scenes since the very beginning, all the way back to the days of the Ben Stiller Show. But of course, he's directed things like The Cable Guy, which is supremely underrated, and I think is much more loved now than when it came out. And Zoolander, an iconic character. Say what you will about Zoolander 2, but Tropic Thunder is a comedy classic and is still quoted to this day and would also never be made today. His first feature was in 1994, Reality Bites, starring himself, Winona Ryder, and Ethan Hawke. It's a great mid-90s romantic comedy that really feels like it's 100% rooted in the art scene. His show Escape from Dannemora with Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano really showed us a whole other side of Stiller as a filmmaker that I had never seen before, and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, similar to The Cable Guy, I also feel is very underrated. But Stiller's work on Severance, I genuinely think puts him in a tier of filmmakers that I will watch anything they do forever now, because he has shown himself over the years to be a very smart director, especially with comedy. But the talent that he showed signs of in Walter Mitty and fully committed to in Escape at Dannemora, he is going all out with Severance. A lot of the best TV that we've seen over the years does feel cinematic. It does feel like it's being directed for the big screen, and what Stiller and his other directors are doing on Severance Season 1, but in particular, the first episode of Season 2, is they're making mini movies. This first episode, especially the opening shot, is mind-blowing. What he's doing here with Adam Scott running through this hallway, there is an excellent video online where Stiller and Scott break down this sequence and explain exactly how they did it. And it's actually very fascinating to watch Stiller discuss at length the technical side of this sequence, especially for me. I love that shit. It's the type of sequence that is so impressive that somewhere in the back of your mind you know that it couldn't have been done in reality. But it doesn't feel like uncanny, like you're looking at something that couldn't happen and doesn't exist, and for that reason you're taken out of it. And that's because of this amazing device, this bolt arm that allows him to take this camera in all different types of positions, 360 around Adam Scott, and then combining it with someone really running behind him in this set. It's an amazing sequence, and this entire episode plays out with incredible energy, partly because you're left with this amazing cliffhanger after the end of season one, and you just have to know what happens next. And this idea that there's been this break of time from season one to now where the characters are meeting up again, and not everybody is entirely honest about what they saw while they were outside. Even though they now know a little bit more about their lives, some of them are still holding back because they're ashamed to admit the truth about themselves to their friends. That sequence in particular, where they're all talking about what they discovered about themselves while they were outside for a while, is shot so intimately and so tight. I didn't feel like I was watching TV. I was like, I wish that I was seeing this on the big screen. Like if there was some sort of event where you could watch like parts of season two in theaters, like 3 episodes at a time, I would be there. I would be seated. There's also a really great stop motion sequence in this first episode where they're shown a video that their corporate is now going to show all new employees, narrated by none other than Keanu Reeves. And it's designed, I think, to make the 4 of them feel like you should stay because we respect the fact that you challenged us. But there's always this air of like, do you really though? Or are you just being evil and manipulative? Like what exactly are you doing? Do you really respect them? Or are you just trying to use them and put them into a different box again? For me, this is the most fascinating aspect of the show. It's just like in a horror movie where you've got a monster or a creature or a villain or whatever, and you don't show the audience the monster. You hold off as long as possible. It builds that tension and you just want to know what the thing looks like. This show's version of that is, what the hell are they doing at this company? What does this company want out of these people? Like the longer they hold off on that, the more interesting the show is. At the same time, it also risks being pushed farther than it needs to. I think about Mulder and Scully getting together in the X-Files. Like that was the thing of those early seasons, was like, will they or won't they? And they just held that for so long that eventually you were just like, come on guys, really? I'm really hoping that Severance can provide answers that are satisfactory, but also know when to pull back and continue that suspense. And I think based off of what the writers and what Stiller have already shown they are capable of doing, I have nothing but confidence in them. Like I said, I think this is the best show that's currently on TV. If you're not watching it, my God, man, like you are really missing out. And I'm not like a huge champion of TV. I do watch TV shows here and there, ones that people say are really good, Squid Game, Last of Us, whatever. This one is one you gotta be watching. I think this is like must-see TV. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, guys. And I do want to give one more thank you to the sponsor, Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus. Do check out that link in the description below for 2,000 gold and 50 Blackstone, available until February 1st. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys as always. So guys, if you've seen Severance Season 1 or Episode 1 of Season 2, let me know what you think of it down below. I am going to try to make consistent videos on this show. I don't think I'll be able to do one for every single episode, but maybe I can do like check-ins, like halfway point through the season, and then for the finale maybe, and just kind of continue to talk about it, because I think that's one of my favorite things about TV that I love. I love sharing it and feeling like there's a community around it and getting to talk about it. So thank you guys as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.